Good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm trying to do a better video than the last one I did. The last video was kind of crappy. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said in the last video, that little whining sound, it went away. Don't know, but here in Jacksonville, there's a couple of days where it kind of gets somewhat cold. It was somewhere in the 40s, 45, 50 around there. So I had that little squeaking sound. So just to share with you guys, this weekend I'm going to be celebrating my 14-year wedding anniversary. Long time. But it's been a good one nonetheless. And being active duty and going 14 years without getting separated is a win-win if you ask me. But enough of that. I'm going to be doing more videos like this in the future now that we have a little bit of a lull in our schedule. We've already finished commissioning, like I told you. Brand new ship now in the Navy, so that's a good thing. The truck is doing well. The tires were a little low, so I had to put some air in them. But other than that, that's about it. I'm also approaching almost my 50,000 mile mark on this truck right now. I've had it for almost 3 years. I guess March, April time frame is going to be a 3-year mark, and I'm definitely going to do a video on that. But I'm not going to leave you guys in the dust and wait that long to give you a video. But if there's a long period where you guys are not seeing videos or uploads from me, that's because I'm busy as heck. Definitely things I would like to do in the future, like I've said maybe in some previous videos. I definitely want to get that 50-gallon tank, because a 26-gallon tank for a truck of this size and magnitude, I think is way too small. I know some of the other ones, like your Duramaxes and your Power Strokes, they have like 36-gallon tanks. So there's no reason why this truck can't have at least a 36-gallon tank, Now, I said this in the past. I did post that video when I ended up hitting that guardrail when I was in Maine. But these tires for off-roading, no, I was not blaming the truck. I did see a comment on there where somebody was like, well, like crazy driver or stupid driver or something like that, equals truck damage or whatever. But I wasn't even driving that fast. And I had the truck on 4-wheel drive. But I hit that guardrail. That was a while back ago. But these tires are definitely garbage. So I looked around on eBay.
Turn left after a quarter of a mile onto I-295 South.
Sorry. But anyway, sorry about the GPS. I know it's annoying. But I definitely want to get some better, more beefier tires. I think there's something like this, like
turn left after 1,000 feet onto I-295 South.
Paying $50,000 some odd dollars for a truck, you should definitely have some good tires to go with that truck. That's just, my thought and thoughts on that one. So to you guys that are out there, have you guys been making or getting bigger tires on your trucks, or have you just been keeping the stock? I don't know which ones the 20s are, or like the 20s. They're probably General Grabbers as well. I'm not sure, but that's me.
Turn next left.
One of my concerns, especially if you're trying to go off-roading on this truck with the General Grabbers. I've already gotten stuck, so definitely the General Grabbers definitely aren't if you're gonna go off-roading. There's spots where I went fishing where you had to go a ways in, and and the tires are barely doing its mark. I mean, they, for light off-roading, they're perfectly fine, but definitely not if you're trying to go like maybe deep mud and stuff like that. Not that I would with something like this anyway. This is lifted enough. I'm definitely not going to get this truck lifted. I've said this previously. I'm actually against lifting trucks.
Keep right after 10 miles and continue on I-295 South.
So I'm not going to go and get this thing lifted and then end up taking away from its towing capacity and stuff like that. I think the way it stands is good the way it is, me personally. And I got the Pro 4X for that reason, because you know it's pretty much got your it's got all the off-road components and stuff that you need, you know, like your Bilstein shocks, electronic locking rear differential, and all that good stuff. And the 18s. I don't like 20s or any of that stuff, because that's just bigger tire, or excuse me, bigger rim means bigger tire, means more money spent on tires. I prefer 18s, where you can get a bigger, beefier tire if you want, than 20s, you know. So I've seen some other concerns out there, like when people saying when it gets cold, like freezing temperatures, doors sticking together. I may have put that on one of my videos. I don't remember if I did off the top of my head or not. But that is definitely annoying. I had an issue, I don't think I put this in one of my videos, maybe I did or maybe I didn't, where the tailgate latch got stuck, where it would like lock and stuff like that. But then you would go to try to open it when you opened it, and it still wouldn't open for some reason, or it wouldn't close all the way. There was something wrong with the mechanism, but the dealer took care of all of these issues. Where I took it over the Priority Nissan in Williamsburg while I was still in Virginia. They definitely really, you know, like took care of me, and that is why I still own the truck. And like I said this in the past, if a company stands behind, or a dealership, whatever, is going to stand behind their product, then if they stand behind it, I'm going to stand behind it. But if they start nickel and diming, saying, well, you know, this really isn't part of the warranty, it's only components, then that's when you have to start, rethinking your loyalty to that brand. Because if they're not going to be loyal to you, you shouldn't be loyal to them. So that's what any maker, whether it be Ford, Chevy, Dodge, or Ram now for the trucks. This truck is definitely a more comfortable ride compared to other trucks. I actually sat in a new, I guess, 18 Ram. I didn't drive it or anything, but I sat in it. And it's definitely not as comfortable as this Nissan. I don't know if he had the seat settings or whatever, but it seemed a little off to me. Just because I'm used to these zero gravity seats, so even if you're driving for like long periods of time and stuff like that, you know, you won't really feel that strain on your back or your, especially lower back region or mid back region or whatnot. And it's not only comfortable for you, but your passengers as well. So I definitely have to say that I really have very, very little complaints about the truck. There's certain things here and there that I believe they could change in the future. Like if you're going to be paying $50-some thousand for the truck, which of course I did not pay. I got 3 women in my household. That's like an impossibility. But you should at least have a sunroof of some sort. I did also say in the past, and I think I said this in one of my previous videos, that I was happy that they didn't go with like the power mirrors as far as the power folding for in and out, because that's just more crap to break. You know, that's just something else that, you know, like if a motor goes out or whatnot, that's also going to break, and then you got to replace a component. But if it's straight manual, then you don't have an issue, because you just putting them in, putting them out yourself, and as well as those, like the telescoping, so coming in and out as well. So coming outwards and then also coming inwards as well. That is such a blessing that it's actually not electronic, because that would just be something else to break. Some other things that I've never really heard either is how, with the mirrors placed, how much better visibility you have in something this big. I had a 2011 Sierra. I believe I put this on one of my previous videos, and it had a high stance to it. It was a 2011. It was Z71 4x4. It was the SLT 2500 HD. So that one had, I think, the 13,000 pound capacity for towing and whatnot, which I never towed a single thing. I bought it off some guy that owned a construction company. So I got a pretty decent deal on it. And the reason why I ended up getting this truck cheap was because they gave me more for it than what it was worth. They said it was really well taken care of. So it was almost like putting 10 or 12K down but I didn't pay that much for it. I only had a little bit over 100,000 miles on it. You know, I had driven that from Virginia to Great Lakes, then from Great Lakes back to Virginia, you know, and stuff like that. And that's the only reason why I had as many miles as it did. I bought it with 83,000 miles in 2014, and when I came back, I had it, and I just went and traded it in. But one thing is true though: once you own a pickup truck, it's very hard to go back to a car because you get used to your sitting, right, and your stance in a pickup truck. You know, you feel like you have, well, I'd say the illusion anyway, of having a more commanding view of the road and being in a larger vehicle as well. Now, that doesn't mean to go out there and drive like an idiot and be crazy just because you're in a pickup truck, because just because you're in a big vehicle doesn't make anybody else's life more important than yours. But you do feel like you have a little bit more security and safety because you're in a bigger vehicle, especially one that sits up quite high. Especially when you're in traffic like I'm sitting right now, I can see most of the cars in front of me, unless if you have a tractor trailer, and obviously they're going to sit a lot higher than you do. But overall, the truck outperforms itself, and it's well worth its weight in gold, just like many other pickup truck owners and stuff like that. You know, I'm pretty sure there's reasons why people own their pickup trucks. Now, I have done towing with this. When I first got it, for the first 2+ years or so, I really didn't tow anything with it. I just towed a small boat, which was a free boat that somebody just gave me, and I just messed around with it, and I just, you know, went and flipped it or whatever. Just something didn't have a motor, needed a motor, so I got some friends help me out, and they basically just helped me flip this boat, basically, you know what I mean? So it was a free boat. They were giving it away. They didn't want to mess around with it. It was something really small. They just needed like a transom or something like that, and like a battery. So just went and got one, did what I had to do, and, you know, later. And when I did my household goods. Now, what I will say is that this thing definitely did tow those 3,000 pounds, and I actually did show a little video of how much stuff was actually in that trailer. Now, me packing a trailer compared to how my wife packs a trailer, if I pack a trailer, there's going to be like stuff all over the place, and it's just going to be in there. You know what I mean? But since she kind of just, you know, the heavy stuff, of course, I lifted, you know, because I'm a gentleman. I try to be anyway. We went, and she kind of sort of said, you know, play Tetris and get everything to fit. She fit all of that stuff that I placed in that video a while back into that trailer. And that was definitely, the trailer itself was rated for, I think, 2,900 pounds, but I think we're a little bit closer to $3,000. Even though this particular model, since it's the Pro 4X, is rated at towing 11,700, you know, because it's got the 4-wheel drive, it's got all that other stuff in there, everything. So it handled that 3,000 pounds like really, really well. It really wanted to take control of the load, and even when I was going like 70 miles an hour, I didn't want to overdo it and go crazy and stuff like that. Since the trailer was lighter than what this truck could tow, I didn't want it to be swaying. I didn't see that it swayed that much, even with wind. Of course, I crossed my change and everything. I made sure, you know, the load was in there, and I kind of sort of did a little dry run just to make sure that, you know, the load wasn't going to come undone and end up rolling backwards or anything, and like, you know, not hitting anybody, you know. Especially towing is one of those things you don't want to tow something or be negligent or careless, then have somebody behind you, you know, go and end up hitting a car or something like that because you're just not, you know, showing that attention to detail, you know, and that little bit of give-it-ish factor, you know. So it did that really well, and of course I was constantly checking it, making sure it wasn't just gonna, you know, go flying or whatever. And on top of that, I completely forgot to note and let you guys know that when I did
keep right after 2 miles and continue on I-295 south.
There was 4 passengers in the truck, so So I had myself, my wife, my 2 daughters, and then I had the bed full. So I had a toolbox with all my tools that I had, and then I had, compressor and some things that I just didn't want to get rid of, because I know when you're doing housework and stuff like that, eventually you need those things. So if it was something that was more than 50 or 60 bucks, well, now we're going to keep it, because I don't want to have to worry about going to a new place and having to replace all this stuff. I was able to fit those toolboxes, which is definitely, if you start looking at the tool size and what the bed can hold, like the $2,000, I want to say I was more into the maybe 6,000 pounds, maybe 7,000 pounds total. I'd say more closer to 5,000, 5 and change maybe there, because of how much the bed can hold and the passengers that I had. So it handled that really well. Now my fuel mileage wasn't too great.
Keep right after 1 mile and continue on I-295 south.
That I will say. But but you're towing, you're using it for what the vehicle was meant to do, So I can't really say that that I'm disappointed with the truck. I'm not. This truck is awesome. You know what I mean? It handles the way it should. Now, if anything crazy does happen, I'm gonna let you guys know too. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I own the truck. Nissan ain't paying me to say this. You know what I mean? It's not paying me to say anything. And even if they were, I still feel like I have a duty and responsibility to let you guys know that, hey, this is what's going on. This truck is handling like crap, and this is why. I think I'd owe you guys that. So definitely, this is definitely a contender. Now,
Keep next right.
That they can definitely up the numbers. I'm pretty sure if they wanted to, they can up the numbers a bit. And I would say that it will
turn right after 3 miles onto I-95 south.
It will definitely be something worthwhile. So
keep right after 3 miles.
Up the numbers again. Sorry for the GPS. I would say maybe closer to maybe 14 or 15,000. I know they got 12. I know this vehicle was designed and tested, but I still believe that this truck, if put to the test, it could probably tow a little bit more, but maybe for warranty purposes, or they don't want the engine to prematurely fail, or engine transmission combination. They lower the numbers a bit. Oh, so we got here. So I really do think that if they upped it just a bit and maybe just beefed it up in some areas or whatever, they can definitely get those towing numbers up, and then they can be a real contender. With the rest of the other pickup truck makers and whatnot, the rest of the other brands. Now, what I would like to see, I'd like to see, this Titan Warrior that's been in the rumor for quite some time now. Maybe they'll come out with that. That'll be a nice thing. But I do think just a small little negativity thing. That's me being nitpicky. But Nissan definitely has to keep and step their game up. So they did well by reinventing the wheel kind of sort of and making your, I guess, heavy duty half ton-ish. By doing that, they did well by doing that. But if they want to stay and be a competitor, they're going to have to, number one, continue to innovate. Don't just say, oh yeah, we added another, an extra USB plug.
Keep right after 2 miles onto US 1 North.
People are probably going to want to see better, probably better towing capacity. They're probably going to want to see a more reactive screen. That's one thing. Hold on, yeah, there was one little negative. your touchscreen. Sometimes you'll go and you'll be messing around with it or trying to do something, and it's a little on the lethargic side. Like you have to sort of press all the way into the screen so that it's not as reactive. It's not, and it's not as user-friendly either, a bit. So they can somewhat update your little center console.
Keep right after 1 mile onto US 1 North.
For your entertainment, I think it would be a lot better. Update that screen. Maybe a little bit of a bigger screen. I think the 7-inch display or whatever, 7.5-inch or whatever it is enough. But, maybe a bigger screen and not one that's riddled with bugs would be a little bit better. Maybe there's some technical update on it. If there is, I haven't gotten one or I haven't seen it. Yeah, this video is getting a little bit long, but, hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. And I'll post some more videos. I did say in the past I was going to start test driving other vehicles as far as trucks are concerned. And I was going to give you kind of sort of like
Keep next right.
Like my synopsis of what I thought, compared to the vehicle that I own. If that's something you guys would enjoy and stuff like that, please let me know. And I'll do that. So take care, everyone. And take care of each other. Thanks.